Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. Today we're going to be learning Linus and Lucy, which is from the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and it's the holiday season right now. This is probably the most requested tune that my friends that teach piano are getting, and I thought, why not put it on ukulele? And it came out really well. There's a few other versions on YouTube. They're all pretty much in the key of G. Our version is going to be in the key of C, which I think gives us a bit of an open or a bigger sound because we have so many of these open strings that we can pull from. So I really liked it in this key. This lesson is going to be part one, and in part one we're going to be learning basically the da 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 ba ba. We're going to be learning that entire melody. So I labeled this song into three sections. That's going to be the A melody. And the next melody is the B melody, which is da 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 da, is that little ramp up. And then the C melody is going to be the that jazz swing section that we go into. So for this first part, we're just going to be learning the A melody. If you guys want to learn the B and the C melody, that's going to be taught in part two of the lesson at rockclass101.com. Also at rockclass101.com, you can get access to the complete tabs, plus the on-screen tab viewer, which is really cool. You can hit play and watch the tab scroll across while I play it in the video, or just listen to the audio only. You can highlight bars to loop them, slow it down to whatever speed. It's just a great tool for learning this song that much quicker. All right, so let's kick into part one. We're going to start with this little intro, which sounds like this. Okay, and then we'll kick into that A melody in a second. So the intro is basically just using one finger. It's out of a C chord. So that stock C chord, we can use our middle finger down there, first finger. Really doesn't matter. We can go ahead and just put our first finger on that third fret of string one. And all we're going to do is do a picking pattern out of this. But think of the rhythm in your head, because it's a little odd, right? Because that first note is going to last da 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 ba 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 da da da. See, that first note lasts longer. Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 da da da. So that's something you want to hear and kind of get that beat in your head. So all I'm doing is I'm keeping that index finger, like we said, on third fret of string one, and I'm going to use my thumb to hit string 3 open and then string 4 open. And remember, that first one you want to hold out for a little bit longer. So we're going to go 3, 4, and then we're going to pick string 1. And I can use my middle finger to hit string 1 with my right hand. So I've got 3, 4, 1. Okay, there's the first three notes. Again, 3, 4, 1. And then we're going to go back and do it again, 3, 4, 1. So the first time, remember, that first note lasts longer. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Right? So we have 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay? So again, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Now this last note, that's going to last longer too. So you've got two notes in this intro that last longer. So again, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. And then what we're going to do is simply lift up, and we have all open strings now. And we're going to run the same pattern again. 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so same notes last longer. So the first one and the last one. 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so it's going to go with that finger down, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so the first time it's down, the second time it's up. Again, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and it just loops twice. So the second time, again, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, lift up, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and the second ending, we're going to go into that C chord. So the second time when we end is going to start the melody for the melody A. So let's put that actually into context. So the first time we have it down, up, repeat, down, up, and then you get into that C chord. So let's just call it all the way throughout slowly. So we have 3, 4, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, then we lift up, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, then we put down, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, then we lift up, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, strum the C. Okay? So let me play it without me calling it out slowly. Okay, so there's our intro. Not too hard. So now the A melody is basically, it's quite a few bars. Let's just break it down into a couple bars at a time. That way we can have a bit of a context of what we're playing. So I'll play through just the first bar, actually, just bar 1 for right now. Okay, so you can hear that melody that we all know, right? Ba-da-da-da-da-da. So the same concept applies. That first note, or the first strum, is going to last longer, right? Strum 5 7, strum 5 3. So you can see the melody walks up on string 1 from 3 to 5 to 7 and back down 5 to 3. So it's all playing out of a C chord. So we're just going to use that index finger for that C chord, and we're going to strum that, and we're going to go strum, and then use your ring finger to play 5 on string 1, and then your pinky to play 7 on string 1. Now, if these stretches are hard, I actually wrote an article on increasing your left hand reach. So I'll put a link right there and in the description box below. So be sure to check out that article, which has quite a few exercises to help you increase your reach for your left hand so you can play these songs easier. All right, so again, we have strum 5 7. Okay, and when we get to here, we're just going to keep that pinky down and we're going to strum again. So you're strumming with 7 down. Strum and then walk backwards. 5 3. So it's up and then back down. Strum 5 7, strum 5 3. Okay, so there's bar 1. Now the next bar, we're going to basically play a variation on a C chord again. So you're going to raise this index finger up to the 3rd fret of string 2. So now that we've got it on the 3rd fret of string 2, it's just going to be, we can actually just lay it flat. So it's kind of like a partial bar, right? So that partial bar, you see I've got that curve of the knuckle right there. Not the first knuckle's curved, right? But the second one is. So that's going to give me a good flat laying for laying that finger as a partial bar. Okay, and the reason is because as we play this bar, we're going to have to lift up and play 3 and 3 on string 1 as a partial bar. Let's just listen to it real quick and then we'll break it down. So it sounds like this. So bar 2 for A melody. Okay, and I'll play it again slow. Okay, so quite a bit is happening with that index finger. So let's break it down. So we have a partial bar, right? 3 and 3 on strings 1 and 2 with that index finger. And then we're going to add our ring finger to 5 on string 1. So I'm playing 0, 0, 3, 5. Okay? So the first one is just going to be a strum, and then we're going to add a slap. So we're going to slap the body, and when we come up, we're going to lift that ring finger, and we're going to pluck. So each finger is going to pluck a string, right? So thumb plucks string 4, index gets string 3, middle gets string 2, and ring gets string 1. So I'm just literally plucking as I come up like that. So I'm going to go slap, pluck. And remember, you got to lift that ring finger up too. So I've got strum 0, 0, 3, 5, strum, slap, lift the ring, pluck. And I'm plucking 0, 0, 3, 3, right? So that's why we really hit on making this little partial bar chord, right? That's the key and the trick for this little section. So again, I have strum, slap, pluck. And then I'm going to follow it up with playing 1, 4. So I can use my ring finger to hit the first string, and then my thumb to hit string 4. So again, I have strum, slap, pluck, 1, 4. And then quickly, I'm going to drop down this index finger and make a basic C again, because I'm going to go back into that little walk-up melody. Okay? So watch that in context. Watch this finger drop down. So I have strum, slap, pluck, 1, 4, strum. the basic C. You see, it literally just went down like that. Okay? So let's put the first couple bars into context. So now we've got okay. Now bar 3 just does the same little walk up from there. So it's going to go 5, 7, and strum the 7, right? So let's put that into context. We're going to play bar 1, 2, and the first half of bar 3. So we have okay, and I'll call it out. Strum 5, 7, strum 5, 3, strum, slap, pluck, 1, 4, strum 5, 7, strum. Okay? Now when you get to here, you're going to add those little finger taps. So it's literally just going to be pinky, third, middle, index. Pinky, third, middle, index. So if you were ever bored and as a school kid, you know, and you're sitting in your desk, you probably have a lot of practice for this, right? But that's the thing, you just want to get your little dexterity, because it makes a cool little effect. If I play it in time, you can hear it. It's just a cool little percussive effect that you can throw in there. So that's all it's going to do. Pinky, third, middle, first. Boom. So you can just practice, and you see where I'm hitting is like right around here on the body. That way I can keep my hand in place for playing. Okay, so after those taps, it literally goes back to that intro licks. Right, so you can hear that same little phrasing. Tap, 0, 4, 1, 0, 4, 1. Cool. So what happens is tap, and then you hit open 3, open 4, 1, open 3, open 4, 1. But it's the same rhythm as that intro, right? So that first and the last note lasts longer. 0, 4, 1, 0, 4, 1. So long, 4, 1, long, right? 0, 4, 1, 0, 4, 1. So basically straight out of that C chord, right? 0, 4, 1, 0, 4, 1. So let's put those two bars into context. I'm going to play bar 3 and 4 slowly. So it sounds like this. Okay. So basically bar 3 is just strum, 5, 7, strum, tap. And then you start with bar 4 for ba da 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 da. Okay. So now let's play bars 1 through 4. So we've basically got the first half of the A melody learned. So it sounds like this. Okay. So from here, we're basically playing the same thing as bar 1 again. Strum 5, 7, strum 5, 3, and then we're playing the same thing as bar 2. So we have that partial bar and that ring finger added, right? Strum, slap, pluck, 1, 4. All that's the same, except you do not go to a C chord at the end. You're going to go to that sus chord. So it's when that change happens for the piano. Right? So there's that little change that happens in the tune. Really cool sounding stuff. So we've got a little sus chord. This is going to be tricky because it's got a bit of an awkward stretch, but let's break it down. What you're going to do is take that middle finger, add it to the 5th fret of string 3, take your ring finger, put it on the 6th fret of string 2, and then add your index finger to the 3rd fret of string 1. And our 4th string will be open. So I've literally got 0, 5, 6, 3. Okay, so we can hear that chord. And then our change for our next chord, let's break that down. We're basically going to a G chord shape, right? But here's the thing. All we have to do from this chord, 0, 5, 6, 3, is literally lift these two fingers up, your first and second, and then make a G chord. Okay, so watch what happens. These two lift up and I form that G chord, right? That basic G chord, but my G chord is up higher. So it's 0, 5, 6, 5. So again, I'm literally just going to practice this chord change, right? So literally these two lift up and index goes on the 5th fret of string 3, middle goes on the 5th fret of string 1. So again, and that's a good way to practice it. You can literally like put it into a timing, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, so on and so forth. That'll be a good way for you guys to get muscle memory down so you can make these change quicker. Okay? So let's break down what's happening on this bar. So let me play it first and then we'll go ahead and learn it. Okay, so there's a couple bars. So literally we're gonna strum this sus, strum, then we switch it to that G shape, right? And we're gonna go strum 1. So I've got strum, strum 1. Okay, so we can practice that. Strum, switch, strum 1, and again, strum, strum 1. Okay, and from here, we're basically playing the same thing as the intro. We're just keeping our fingers in this shape. But it's the same pattern, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, where the first and last note lasts the longest, right? 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. So again, I have strum, strum 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so let's break this down into context. I'm gonna play it from bar 5, and we just learned bar 7 and 8. So let's go ahead and just play those 4 bars together so we can hear how it takes effect. So from bar 5. Okay, so if I call it out, we have strum 5 7, strum 5 3, strum slap pluck 1 4 switch, strum strum 1 3 4 1 3 4 1. Okay, so that puts it into a little context, right? So from that last bar we had okay. Then from here, we're going back to that little partial bar, right? So that index finger is on the 3rd fret strings 1 and 2. Okay, so this time around, we're starting with just this, and then we're gonna add that ring finger back to the 5th fret of string 1. So what this sounds like is, okay? So I'm basically gonna strum, and then add my ring finger to 5 on string 1, and I'm gonna do the same thing as before, strum 1. So I've got strum, strum 1. So lift it up first, strum, put it down, strum 1, and then pick that little intro melody out, 3 4 1 3 4 1. But you notice that that ring's gonna lift up again. So watch the ring finger. I've got it up, down, up. Right, so when that last part, you're picking O, O, 3, O, O, 3, right? 3 on string 1. So that's tricky. So you've got it down, up, down, all that stuff. So it's a little confusing. It's a bit of a finger frenzy. But once you get it down, it's not hard. And also just think of the melody and the rhythm in your head. You know, ba, 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 da, 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 bum, ba, da, ba, 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 da, da, da. Right? Because that will really help guide you for this tune. Because the rhythms are a little complicated, not too hard, but a little confusing because notes will ring into the next bar. So like notes are tied into the next bar. So it's kind of a little odd if you try and tap your foot along and feel the beat. It's just a little bit of a weird song, but it's what makes it so cool. It's different, you know? So let's go ahead and just play the last half again with this change. So from this part we had the sus chord, switch, then flat. Okay, once you get to there, you're literally just gonna go back into it. So it just repeats all the way throughout. And after we repeat it all the way throughout, we have an alternate ending. So this melody A is actually 10 bars in length. And I'm gonna go ahead and play through it and try and call it out for you guys. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Well, that's the basic gist of it. Now, once you get done with those 10 bars, you're repeating everything. So you're going back into all this stuff, little taps, and again. Then we have those little chord switch. Now, the change is the last note. That's the only thing that's different. So when I get to that last part, which is, instead of playing a C chord, I'm literally just playing string 1, the 3rd fret again. So again, in slower motion, breaking it down, I have flat on the 3rd fret of strings 1 and 2, and then add my ring, strum 1, and then playing that little intro, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 1. That's the difference. So instead of hitting the C chord at the last beat, you're literally hitting 3rd fret of string 1 by itself. So 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, ba. Okay, and that leads us straight into the B melody, which is ba da 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 da. So the B melody and that jazz breakdown part, we're going to be learning that in the second part of the lesson at rockclass101.com. There you can also find the complete tabs to print off and follow along with as a PDF format. Plus you can get access to that on-screen tab viewer, which is super helpful for a song like this that's a little bit hard, because you can literally highlight like a bar or two at a time and slow it down to whatever speed you need. So you could literally go, right, slow it down to that speed and just work on getting the right hand technique down, and then boost it up to whatever tempo that you want to play the song at. Just a great tool for learning this. So all that's at rockclass101.com. Just look for the Linus and Lucy lesson. And I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you in part 2. Thanks.